Squad, back with another video. I'm Recklezz.
I'm Chris.
So, had to check this video. Y'all seen the title. Got another video dropping too. I can't wait for that video. It is a, fairly long video, but it's okay. Dang, I just scared that. But you already know. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Let's get in the video.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind. We gotta continue to expose this deep state DNC clique. That's exactly what it is. Look at all the anti-Trump lawsuits and you'll see the same names like Reid Hoffman and others. Look at all the legal efforts and fundraising scams. You'll see people like Mark Elias, for instance, Hillary Clinton's favorite lawyer. You see the same people, the same names, because it's a clique, it's a little deep state clique. Well, the clique is getting exposed. This election interference scam is getting exposed. As time goes by and we get more and more information, we're slowly starting to see a picture of collusion between multiple Democrat actors. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis may be in some trouble here. In fact, she may be in more trouble than Donald Trump is, ironically enough. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on as another massive scandal or potential scandal exposes these corrupt little Democrat cliques. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, friends, so we got an article here from Breitbart. Trump co-defendant alleges Fulton County DA Fani Willis is in a corrupt romantic relationship. Mike Rowan, a political operative who is one of the 18 co-defendants with former President Donald Trump in the Georgia election case, has filed a motion alleging that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis had an improper relationship with a colleague. Rowan was charged along with Donald Trump and 17 others last August for crimes related to the Trump campaign's effort to challenge the results of the 2020 election in the state. But Rowan is fighting back, rejecting a plea deal and filing a motion in which his attorneys allege that Willis had a romantic relationship with a special prosecutor named Nathan Wade, and that his law firm used funds paid by the county to take Willis on exotic vacations using potentially fraudulent payments. The filing also alleged that Wade, who is a private attorney with no prosecution experience, was appointed without the required approval by authorities. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution reported the motion filed on Monday on behalf of defendant Michael Roman, a former Trump campaign official, seeks to have charges against Roman dismissed and for Willis, Wade, and the entire DA's office to be disqualified from further prosecution of this case. The filing also offers no concrete proof of the romantic ties between Willis and Wade, except to say that sources close to both the special prosecutor and the district attorney have confirmed that they had an ongoing personal relationship. It alleges that Willis and Wade have been involved in a romantic relationship that began before Wade was appointed special prosecutor. It says that they traveled together to Napa Valley in Florida, and they cruised the Caribbean using tickets Wade purchased from Norwegian and Royal Caribbean cruise lines, although the filing did not include documentation of those purchases. Roman's filing also says that the Fulton County District Attorney never had legal authority to appoint the special prosecutor who assisted in both obtaining grand jury indictments, and that both Willis and Wade should be kicked off the case because the district attorney and the special prosecutor have been engaged in an improper, clandestine personal relationship during the pendency of this case, which has resulted in the special prosecutor and in turn the district attorney profiting significantly from this prosecution at the expense of the taxpayers. Accordingly, the district attorney and the special prosecutor have violated laws regulating the use of public monies, suffer from irreparable conflict of interest, and have violated their oaths to office under the Georgia rules of professional conduct and should be disqualified from prosecuting this matter. And so look, it's just...
My thing is, can't you get in trouble in the first place, like for like working with like a colleague?
Yeah.
Like any job, like just think about like any job, like that I can think of. Like I even worked at McDonald's before, and I'm pretty sure somebody got in trouble for dating a colleague because it's not good for a workspace anyways. Because what happens when all this over with? And then it makes it even more aware, like, what are y'all like doing this for? And you sitting there paying him.
It's like that movie we watched.
What movie?
I don't know what it's called, but
it's like the movie and the show. Remember the law show?
Oh yeah.
When dude, what's the law show called? When dude, he wasn't supposed to be a lawyer. He was running from the police. Suits is a good show. Y'all
I don't
watch
know
Suits,
what
y'all
the movie's
tweaking.
called. It was newer. But they were married and they went to.
Oh, they went to
They was like
when they left the
with each
apartment.
other. Yeah.
At the same time, but they went different ways and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know.
just a claim so far, but it's moving forward as now Fani Willis is being subpoenaed. Fani Willis, and prosecutor in Trump Georgia case, subpoenaed to testify in colleague's divorce. So I guess it's going to come out whether these two are little lovebirds, but it gets even worse than that. You know, there's a couple things here that are stacking up. Firstly, there's the unprofessional and improper relationship, which creates a clear conflict of interest. Secondly, the possible misuse of funds. Fani Willis' alleged little lover boy here received nearly $700,000 as the top prosecutor in this case, and then supposedly a lot of that money was used to then travel to Napa Valley in Florida, cruising in the Caribbean. But then on top of all of that, it gets even worse as we're learning that Fani Willis met with Kamala Harris multiple times before indicting Donald Trump on RICO charges. And of course, it even continues beyond that, as we're now learning that Fani Willis' little lover boy here also met with the White House supposedly or allegedly to plot the Trump Georgia indictments. We have proof, as you guys can see over here, multiple invoices where the law offices of Nathan J. Wade billed the White House directly. We're seeing stacking layers of potential corruption and conflict of interest. And by the way, this builds up on a viral claim made by Newt Gingrich back in August of 2023.
That I am told, this is hearsay, but I am told by a reliable source that Friday evening somebody from Washington called the district attorney in Atlanta and said, you have to indict on Monday. We have to cover up all of the mistakes we just made with Weiss. And she said, apparently, my jurors aren't coming back till Tuesday. And they said, you didn't hear me. You have to indict on Monday. And she said, well, they're not going to get here before noon. They said, it doesn't matter. She said, this means it's going to be 8 or 9 or 10 o'clock at night. They said, it doesn't matter. We need the news media shifting off of
who made that phone call?
We don't know. And I'm telling you up front, this is hearsay, but it's from a person who has remarkably good sources.
I totally believe it, though, because that would explain why they leaked and they messed up on the clerk document, why she was exhausted, and why they had the 11 p.m. press conference, Mr. Speaker.
He was told from a very reliable source that there was pressure from Washington, D.C. to indict and indict fast, which, as Charlie Kirk mentioned, makes sense considering the 11 p.m. presser and the total chaos that preceded it. Oh, and just a little cherry on top here to make matters worse, we're also learning that the January 6th committee coordinated with Fani Willis in Georgia Trump prosecution. Supposedly, according to a new report from Politico, the January 6th committee staff met with staff working for Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis back in April of 2022. I don't know about you guys, but my nostrils are flared right now because something stinks to the freaking high heavens. Like I always say, there's very little coincidences in the world of politics. Well, when you have multiple coincidences stacking on top of each other, I'd say it paints a very clear picture that this whole thing was orchestrated. It's like I stated in the intro, it's a clique, the deep state Democrat/uniparty establishment meeting with their goons, having them do their bidding in order to interfere with the next election. I mean, come on. The timing alone tells you all that you need to know. Right ahead of election season, all the indictments drop. I'm sure it's just a coincidence, right? They just happen to sit on all the evidence, waiting for peak election season so they could schedule all of their trials. Give me a break. If Donald Trump was guilty of what they accused him of, if he was legitimately guilty, if it was a slam dunk case, they would have launched it back in 2021. But clearly that's not what the White House wanted, huh? How else do you explain it? How else do you explain Fani Willis and her supposed Trump prosecutor lover boy meeting in Washington multiple times with White House officials, only to then, shortly thereafter, launch an indictment against the current president's #1 rival? It makes absolute perfect sense. Conspiracy, collusion, and election interference. Those are the 3 words to describe what we're seeing. Donald Trump chimed in. Here's what he had to say.
You had a very big event yesterday, as you saw, in Georgia, where the district attorney is totally compromised. The case has to be dropped. They went after, I guess, 18 or 20 people. They wanted to go after a lot of other people. They wanted to go after senators. She was out of her mind. Now it turns out that that case is totally compromised. In fact, they say she's in far more criminal liability than any of the people she's looking at. So I think that when you look at what happened, where they pay a lawyer with absolutely no experience $700,000 who happens to be her lover or her boyfriend, and then they go on trips and vacations together, very expensive vacations together. And the reason they paid him so much because he was after me, because this way they can afford to pay him a lot more, probably passes certain tests. And that's a very sad thing that happened in Georgia, and I would imagine that case is going to be dropped. Every legal analyst that I've spoken to, every legal analysts that I've read have said that case is so compromised now it has to be dropped. Very good people were very badly hurt by that case. It's a shame. Very good people. People did nothing wrong. They did nothing different than what Democrats have been doing for years and years and years, whether it's slates or anything else that you're talking about. But they were very hurt, and it turns out that she profited tremendously on that case. It's illegal. What she did is illegal. So we'll let the state handle that. But what a sad situation it is.
And so that's pretty much the story. It's looking like things are going to get interesting here, and being able to prove the whole White House / Fani Willis collusion thing, not exactly even necessary here. The issue right now for Fani Willis is the improper relationship and the possible misuse of funds, or potentially putting her alleged boyfriend in a position to then rake in nearly $1 million, which they use to then go on vacation, supposedly, allegedly. We'll have to see if they were indeed on a cruise together. I'm sure we could get evidence of that if that's the case, and we'll see where that takes us. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys.
I'm telling you, it's gonna come. I mean, it's gonna come to the light. It's gonna come to the light.
Everything comes to the light.
Picture is gonna come out. The receipt's gonna come out. So that's just what it is. Honestly, I thought it would have been dropped already from the get go, because the whole situation with what they got going on right now. And just like said, you chasing after 18 to 20 people, and what are you doing? Right. You know what I mean? So definitely appreciate everybody, tuning in, watching this reaction. Make sure y'all stay tuned for the next video. Definitely a banger. Catch y'all next one.